Monday, August 26, 2024 to order. Please rise and join me in the flag salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Dean, would you roll call, please?
Councilmember White. Here. Councilmember Cook.
Here.
Councilmember Fairley.
Here.
Councilmember Osborne. Here. Councilmember Thomas.
Here.
Thank you, Dean. We have no presentation tonight.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Is there any question? No questions. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passed.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I will second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any questions?
We have
No checks? So can we go back to that since we tentatively? No.
He just uses his discussion time
Okay.
and then waits till everyone reviews and then you do the vote.
Okay. Did you guys review it? Okay. Tim, will you have checks ready early in the morning?
They're ready right now.
Okay, I'll come by early in the morning and sign them, since I'm over here. Since Tim has not got to the bank yet.
No, I have, I've signed something online and you might be,
Yeah.
Did you? Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'm all over it now.
Wow, good job. Well, good, the Tim can come sign it tomorrow.
Oh, is this?
Fine. No, I'll do it tomorrow, Tim, if you want. Okay. Thank you all. Is there any questions?
No, sir.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Reports, Mr. White?
Yes, I attended the city and school forum meeting on August the 20th in Green River College, Rosemont Center. They talked about a few things, mostly the opioid fentanyl task force update, of which they still have no one on that committee. They also talked about, the superintendent of Auburn School District 408 sent out a levy sheet which discusses all the things that the upcoming levy is going to renovate or build. And one of them that stands out to me was Alpac. They're going to replace 52-year-old Alpac and other things. If anybody wants to see it, I have those. And that's about all I have.
Thank you, Mr. White. Mr. Cook?
Nothing this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Fairley?
Went to Algona Days on Saturday. seem to slow anything down. All the vendors had a good time, seem to be making money. I think the Algona Days Committee did a real good job. I think everybody, Public Works, the police department, I think everything went as good as it could, considering the weather we had, and actually probably better than it should have with the weather we had. So I had a good time. So thanks.
Thanks, Mr. Fairley. Ms. Osborne?
I have nothing to say.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got a few things. It's concerning West Valley Highway work that's going on out there. It's been closed for quite a while now to both directions. And for a period there, nothing was being done on the road itself. I'm just wondering if we can tighten the screws on these guys and let them get this road work done, get this opened up. I think they've taken far too much advantage of us as well as the community public out there. And I've had a lot of contractors come and talk to me about what are they doing out there. I mean, it's a convenience for them to have it shut down like that. So I'd rather have somebody manning those lights so when there's no traffic, they'll have the right appropriate traffic going through, not having people sit there for a long time and nothing coming through. So otherwise, the website looks good. I went on there and jumped around a little bit in there, and it's easy to pay my bill online again, so that's fantastic. The last thing is I attended the VRFA meeting here a couple weeks ago, and one of the main highlights there was we approved of them to hire a project manager instead of consulting out the work with to build these fire stations. I think that's one of the best moves I've seen yet. It's far less expensive at that point, and it's a term limited position, so it doesn't hang around after projects are done. So anyway, that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Dean?
We're really moving forward on the wetlands project. Guys are getting a lot done over there, making great progress. Today they started Ellingson Road. They had the westbound lane closed and they were cutting out curbs today, so that project's underway. And we just issued a permit for the new hotel today. So that's gonna get underway here real quick.
Right in front of Hitch House Honda. Plumbing place.
Chief Treasurer?
Good evening, council and mayor. You have in front of you my written report. I'm going to go down that real quick. First and foremost, our new officer starts tomorrow, Sarah Lee. She'll begin her training with us, and then she should begin her academy training around the 1st of October. She'll be in the academy for about 5.5 months, but very glad to see her come on board. And in addition to that, I had the pleasure of talking to Miss Kari. She's been out on family medical leave with her firstborn, her and her son, and she's scheduled to come back October 1st. I think she's ready to come back now. She misses the place. She wanted an update on a lot of things, and so it was good to chat with her. Also adding in my report, as I did today, I did the month of August, just kind of give you a screenshot of, what the police department's doing. So just so far, and we got a couple more days in August, 585 calls for service. Out of those 585 calls for service, we initiated 95 case reports. Also, in the month of August, we've handled 64 calls for the City of Pacific. While in turn, they've not handled calls for us, but they've assisted us with 24 calls for service. In addition, we've done 411 traffic stops. Out of those 411 traffic stops, 298 infractions. 26 criminal citations, and 118 written warnings. So that's just kind of a screenshot. I could get way into the numbers, but right now we're at a 12 calls per shift per person average for the 18 for the month of August. So that means one call. Most of them work 12-hour shifts. That means one call an hour. They're average. So we're busy. But the good thing is our crime rate's down almost 16% over last year. So they're out working. So on another note, outside the PD, citywide, I've been talking about it. As most of you know, I've been working with an outside contractor to bring us up to date with Windows 365. We're at the point where we're going to be doing on-site migrations this week and probably after the holiday. So look for an email from Miss Jessica and I. Hey, please bring in your council computer so we can get you up to date on the 365. Now, the second part of that is going to be a budget request in the 2025 budget to buy cloud space so that we can replace our servers. But getting the software, getting us all online, getting us up to date so we can work remotely, that's all happening this year. So, but anyway, those are the two things I have on that. Lastly, I'm just going to add to what's already been said about Algona Days. Not just the PD, not just the 18, but everybody did a phenomenal job. And I too believe it's a foundation for more to come. I think we've established ourselves on that weekend with vendors, and you know, it's just a matter of time before we have crowds. And that's a good thing. To highlight what the city's all about, me being here as long as I have, it's just really great to see that we're growing like that and we're you know, having a presence. So I just wanted to say thanks. Other than that, I'll stand for any questions.
I have a question for you, Chief, on Seattle Boulevard North on the west shoulder, just north of First Avenue. There's a big pile of mulch.
I saw that, and Dee and I, he brought that in, correct?
It's been there a few weeks. They did cut it so it's not on the road, but it's still taking up the whole shoulder. And it's been there several weeks. So I'm just questioning how long we'll allow that to sit there.
Okay, we're on it tomorrow.
Yeah. I did speak with the homeowner about that, and he was supposed to get it moved last week. So
yeah, I think he's worked on it one afternoon.
Yeah, I'll go revisit with him.
Okay, thank you.
All set? Jessica?
Yeah, I'll just expand on Algona Day as well, and just give Gary a special shout out. He worked his butt off for this event, and you can really see his hard work and everything that happened on Saturday. So it really worked out great. We even had the Kozak security team will be back next time, and there was one of the gentlemen that had an old car on there for the car display said he would really like to get his group out to actually do a car show and expand on that. Which is great to hear. And thank you to the police shutting down the roads and keeping things moving, and Public Works. They actually stayed a couple hours later than they were supposed to make sure everything was cleaned up and good for the weekend. And it really, to me, worked out amazing, even with the weather. Website is up. If you can't access it, you gotta clear your cache out of your browser, and it'll pop up. Had a lot of phone calls of people not able to pay their bills, but they just got clear browsing history. As Dean said, the Ellington overlay has started. I have a voyant alert scheduled for tomorrow morning, just letting folks know that it's going to be 1 lane closures until the project's complete. They're just going to do 1 lane at a time and just keep traffic flowing.
And to dovetail off that, Officer Dubois will be working traffic detail for that work zone. You're two this morning. And that works.
I did watch him pull over a semi. I was driving by. Yes. And then just to expand on the wetland preserve as well, they finished the blackberry grubbing, and well, they're nearly done with it. There's a little area they gotta fix some issues, and then plants will be delivered by the end of the second week, I think. Yes. I saw of September. So we're moving along quite nicely. So yeah, any questions for me?
Thank you. I'll do my report. I want to thank Jessica for her hard work on staying on top of this Algona days and so forth. Chief Shropshire and Dean all worked real hard to, because you all had to turn reports out there, we're gonna do this, and they organized it, so thank you very much. We had a lunch today, luncheon for everybody, thanking them for their hard work, and barbecue hamburgers, and it was good to have everybody sit down at the table and have a good talk. So, thank you very much. Algona days was great. Over the past 18 months, we've initiated numerous maintenance projects that have been neglected for years and established a regular maintenance schedule. These projects involve cleaning our stormwater and sewer system and addressing the north end of 167 ditch. Public Works will be responsible for cleaning the south end of the 167 ditch. Additionally, there have been noticeable improvements in code enforcements, with multiple residents collaborating with the city to improve cleanliness of their properties. They're currently facing a situation where individuals reside full-time in recreational vehicles, which does not comply with our municipal code 22.48-080. We require your assistance in addressing this matter. The code explicitly prohibits the use of recreational vehicles as permanent residents, limits occupancy to 72 hours, and regulates the connection to public utilities and the addition of external structures without prior approval. We seek your support to facilitate the transition of individuals from RVs to accessory dwelling units, ADUs, or tiny homes within the following year. Your collaboration in this endeavor will have a positive impact on our community, and we sincerely appreciate your cooperation and support in this critical need. Update on Cherry Park. I've been working with the owners group to develop a plan for the city to take over the storm system in the park, and we'll meet with the city attorney the first week of September to discuss next steps and bring something to council and the following council meeting. North End flooding. My initial letter to the mayor of the city of Auburn, I finally heard back from her at the end of June. She responded that she would give me an update at the end of July, but I never heard from her. I'm working with the Washington State DOT and a business in Auburn trying to devise a plan to get Auburn to clear their part of the 167 ditch. Interurban Trail, this is probably one of the most exciting things for me, is that starting on September 3rd and running through September 24th, they'll be reconstructing the interurban trail between First Avenue North and Fifth Avenue South. That's been many years in the making. They're also, in the meantime, going to be doing some repairs going north on the interurban trail where PSE came in and just moved a lot of that, so that's going to get repaired at the same time. And then again, a big thanks to everybody at Algona Days. The Hollywood apartments have been condemned. Thank you. You would think that I would love that word. It's condemned. The owner has he turned in his permit yet?
No,
Okay.
I have not heard from him since we last spoke.
Okay, so we probably should give him a call, because I know that today we red tagged his water system. So I'm hoping that he's not expecting to turn the water off and leave those people stranded without water.
Okay.
So,
I'll reach out to him.
he, according to the documentation, he has to February to get that building down. He's agreed to destroy the building and clear the property. Any questions for me? Thank you. Audience participation. The city council encourages public participation during meetings of the city council and welcomes your comments. This time is set aside for you to speak to the city council on any issue. The council ordinarily takes non-agenda matters under advisement before taking action. You are also invited to comment on action items as they are considered during the meeting. Individual speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each in addressing the city council. When addressing the city council, please speak clearly and audibly and state your name and address. And we have nobody here and nobody online.
Just Susan.
Okay. Let's move on to discussion items. Discussion item A is ordinance number 1238-24, speed limits.
Okay, so at the last meeting, and this is second touch, so it's not up for final passage or anything. At the last meeting, there was some requests for some edits. I sent that email to Zach. Zach and I had a phone call. As of the deadline to get it in front of council, those edits have not been made into the ordinance. So I will not be bringing this forward for final passage at the next council meeting. I'm going to wait till Zach gets all the edits that were requested. And just for a refresher, very clear, we're dropping the request is to drop the speed limit on Algona Boulevard to 25 miles an hour, to exempt celery from the 20 mile an hour because the intent is to add sidewalks. Those were the edits that you brought forward. Those are the edits I passed on to Zach. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the new revised out before this, so it's just up for discussion tonight. And I assure you, I will not bring a final version for passage until those edits have been made and been vetted by you.
When that ordinance gets passed, how long before that gets implemented?
So it's 5 working days. Also the signs, depending on the dimensions of the signs, it's either $35 or $62 per sign.
How many signs?
So I'm figuring 4 per street. We probably want to go with the bigger signs on Algona Boulevard. So we're looking at probably, I'm going to spitball a couple thousand for signage. Does that sound about right, Councilmember Thomas?
Yeah, the material.
Yep. And then the time to install, correct.
Yeah, so you'll have to change your, the wording too, also entering, all speed limits will be, 25 unless otherwise posted. Now it's gonna say 20.
Correct. No. That's street. Nice try.
Is there any other comments on that? Questions? Let's move on to item B, resolution 1284-24, surplus Vector truck.
Alright, so this is our second review of a resolution to surplus our Vector truck. As you know, we have a Vector trailer on order. The truck's still inoperable right now, so yeah, that's where we're at.
Questions, comments on that resolution? Discussion item C is Department of Ecology's Water Quality Combined Funding Program.
So I thought I would have the agreement available to council review tonight. But Ecology hasn't sent it to me yet. It should be early this week. But this is funding that Gray Osborne worked with Russ on to work on an enhanced maintenance plan to support our NPDES program. This enhanced maintenance plan is very street sweeper focused. The goal is to use this plan for a grant that's going to be opening here in a month to get a street sweeper, have our own street sweeper. Right now we have a maintenance agreement with Auburn. They don't do streets without curbs, and this new NPDES permit requires every street to be swept 3 times a year. And so it just makes sense for us to either get our own street sweeper or continue to rent our own, because Auburn only does curb streets, and it's every street we have to sweep. We just did a rental for a street sweeper. It didn't require CDL. Every crew member was able to go drive it, and we were able to sweep the entire town nearly twice, right?
Yes.
So,
I would recommend doing that. Because those street sweepers are high maintenance and all their parts wear really fast.
Well, this does support a enhanced maintenance plan that we can still use in-house, whether it's renting or what have you. It was actually within the mayor's budget, so we went ahead and did a scope of work with Gray and Osborne. They're almost done with the enhanced maintenance plan. As soon as we found out that we were awarded the funds, they got right on top of it, and they're nearly done. So, yeah, this is, as soon as I have the agreement, we'll have it ready for the next council meeting for the grant funds and go from there.
So you have the extra $3,000 then?
Yes, the city is fronting the $3,300, because the grant is only for the $28,443.
Any other questions or comments? I have no new business, no old business, ordinance and resolutions. Item A, ordinance number 1237-24, new e-bike regulations. Chapter.
Okay, so nothing has changed on the e-bike regulation except we added the definition of the one-wheeled skate. And it is up for final passage tonight. As I expressed to a few of you before the council meeting, I have noticed that there are actually e-motorcycles now being driven on the trail. These two young gentlemen, clearly not old enough to ride a motorcycle, but because this is electric, they had a misunderstanding. I educated them, but at the end of the day, we can't. It seems like these are becoming more and more prevalent. And again, this piece, I want to be very clear. The rules of the road have always been kids cannot ride bicycles on the streets. It is not the priority of the police department to, hey, we're going to write your mom and dad a ticket for you riding a bike on a city street, but it's always been against the law. So the rules of the road do apply. And this just gives us a little bit of more enforcement and controlling the speed. We can use LiDAR on the trail because it's a laser and it can lock in on the bike itself with a laser, and we can measure their speed that way, to answer your question. Am I going to put somebody on the trail? Not this time. I think I want to take an education approach, but to some of those, I like the accountability piece for the parents, holding them accountable, because there is it is becoming more prevalent. And it's only a matter of time before somebody gets hurt. So, anyway.
Make a motion, we approve ordinance number 1237-24.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 1237-24, new e-bike regulations. Is there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passed. Next workshop. Continue budget talks. Is there anything else that anybody would like to